Hey everybody, we're back on the live stream, and today we're going to be talking about the big winners and one very bad loser for the sales in 2021 in supercars. Be right back. Hey everybody, and welcome back. I'm going to guess we're going to call this the automotive news right now. I haven't streamed in a long time, and I think today was the day. We've been trying to test this out to see what it looks like, to see if it gets, kind of locked up, and we were having some issues with some streaming services and stuff like that. But you know what? We get it all dialed in, and the point today was to be able to go live and show you something cool. So today I am your host, Primo. And here's my IG if you want to check that out. That's something that I've been working on a lot of stuff. I'm just kind of getting busy. But yeah, it's been a great year, actually. 2022 is actually starting off really well. We're going to get a cold snap tomorrow, so the weekend is going to be kind of slow. But that's okay because it gives a chance to more test this stuff and make sure it works. So big thing before we go forward and start talking about these winners and losers here, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I love it. So yeah, we're going to have a lot more content. Some of the stuff that came up, just different bills and stuff that had just come across our position that I'm really excited about. So yeah, so that's all the stuff right now. So today we're going to talk about, like I said, the big winners and the big losers. So before I got ready today, I got my Society coffee, the Society coffee shop. I went to it today. I could not believe it. You make a name, and then all of a sudden it's like everybody has this really cool stuff where it's like they get you all set up with it, and everybody kind of merges together. So I'm hoping down the road here we're going to get a chance to actually do some event at their place. So there you go. Okay, I'm ready. Okay, so one big thing that we saw all around this 2020 year when it came to supercars for 2021 was sales. Sales was up almost everywhere. It was incredible to see how many people were actually getting invested in these cars, and we're talking cars that are not cheap here. So a lot of people will tell me, hey, they're out of touch, they're out of reach, they're all this stuff. There are Bentley Continentals right now that you could probably get ahead for $30,000 to $40,000. There's a lot of big brands out there. There's more and more people right now in the middle of everything that's going on that are actually finding ways to win. So I see it as there's a lot of people out there that, okay, don't want to work. I get that. It's okay. But if you're the kind of person that wants to put in the work and wants to get ahead of the game, this is the opportunity where there's a vacuum and everybody's going to want to be a part of that. So hey, you know what? We can complain all the time about the stuff that works, the stuff that doesn't work, the ways we can't get stuff done. But I would like to focus on the things that we can actually get done. And like I said, here's the opportunity. The sky's the limit. Let's go. So yeah, the thing is if you're thinking about looking at a supercar, if it's something that's in your thing right now, that's big. I mean, think about it right now. One of the largest automotive dealers out there right now on social media is actually Lamborghini. So go figure, right? Okay. So I'll make sure everything is dialed in here so I can show you the stuff for it when we get there. So the first one right now is obviously going to be Bentley. Bentley in 2021 sold 14,659 cars. That's incredible for a brand like that. And that is an increase of 5.5% over the year before. That's incredible. Like, imagine Bentley products like just flying off the shelf. And this is a brand that I've been trying to push for a while. I think that they're an awesome brand. Any of these luxury brands and stuff like that are having some issues with some resale values and stuff like that. But on the whole, Bentley is an exceptional brand that has really started to get its footing, and I want to see more from that brand coming down the road. So if it's something you're looking at, definitely consider it. The second one here, which I was really excited about, is Porsche. Look at my boys, 718 GT4, which was announced this year. was probably one of the most exciting unveilings and like product announcements ever. They came right off the foot of actually coming, here's the one that's going to have the big engine in it. It's going to have all the power. That car was they just hit the gate running. And then right after they announced that car, they went right into announcing the RS race car. And that just, you can't get much better than that, right? So for Porsche in 2021, I think the number here is 301,915 cars, which was an 11% increase over their prior year sales. And like I said, it's Porsche, so it's one of those brands that it's going to keep pulling up as long as it has the ability to do what it's been doing. In third place with 8,405 cars was Lamborghini, and the way I'm scoring these is pretty much by their percentage of increase from beforehand, which this was a 13% increase. Lamborghini and Bugatti both saw 2-year cycles of breaking sales records for their companies right straight in a row, so that was a big deal for them. And that's the thing is Lamborghini, we were saying it before, social media top dogs right now. They have definitely got their angle when it comes to showing stuff off. Funny that we were looking at the numbers for it, and they really kill when it comes to their Christmas stuff. So the second they have the Christmas, they're going to have a Christmas video, and it ends up being the one most watched videos out there. I think it's funny that people used to say this before. It's like, why doesn't Lamborghini advertise on television? And they always say, well, because their buyers weren't on television. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is something that I want to diffuse as a myth. The reason they didn't do the advertising they did is because the margins would allow them to do it. I know you think that you make a ton of money on these cars, but you have to understand the amount of production and the amount of design and all the things that go into these big cars. The reason that their numbers are so high is because they have to make money from the few vehicles that they actually produce. Now that they have an opportunity to sell to the world and really have an open market where Instagram is free, YouTube is free, all these other things are free. Just get out there and put the stuff out there. They look at what they've done. They've flooded the world with this product. And let's be honest, these things, I keep saying this before. We had the show on the fashion show a while back, and I said, some of these brands are going to make more on watches, apparel, posters, all the stuff that they license in video games. All that stuff is all additional income. They'll make more on that stuff than they probably ever will with their cars. And I just think that's weird. But yeah, that's the thing is once these brands get big, and they really are just killing it in the market right now, you're going to see more of those products and more of those identities. And I want to see people jump on it. We said that before. Get on the idea. Find the brand that you like. Find the brand that you identify with, and really just assign yourself to it. So the next one is Lotus, 1,710 vehicles. Look at that number. It's so low, right? That's a 24% increase from the year prior. Lotus, again, one of those great brands. I think a lot of times it just kind of gets overlooked, and I didn't want to overlook it here. We didn't get sales numbers from Bugatti, but I'm going to be under the impression they're kind of in a transition phase, so I didn't kill myself trying to look for that, but I'm sure they're going to announce it soon, and I'm sure they'll probably get some kind of big uptick too. Next is Ferrari with 8,206 over the year. That's a 27% increase. The last time they did a number, though, was in November 2nd. So this 8,206 is going to be their November number. We don't have a December number, but still, with the November number, they were at a 27% increase. So one of the brands, and this is the exciting part of today's show that I really digged, was Rolls-Royce. They recently unloaded their black badge, and that was just huge for them. I've always been excited. I wanted to show this the other day when we had the show, and Rolls-Royce was just, it's Rolls-Royce. Come on, they can't go wrong. Yeah, hey now. I like that. That was pretty cool. But yeah, here's their new symbol that they have for it, and I really dug that symbol. But Rolls-Royce is now, they get 5,586 cars, which is a 50% increase over the year prior. That is their world record. That is the record that they hold for the company right now. They're 117 years of being around. Rolls-Royce just broke their record for sales. It's incredible. One of the most expensive ultra-luxury vehicles in the world, and Rolls-Royce has topped it. So congratulations to Rolls-Royce, and congratulations to their leadership. You guys are. Oh, and by the way, another brand kicking it on YouTube, doing stuff on IG, getting their name out there. Yeah, let me guess, that old thing about they don't want to reach their buyers. Well, it looks like that was all wrong. But next, the Jaguar with 124,538 vehicles. Get this, 68.1% increase. That is crazy. 68% increase. Now, I think that's funny. I think that is they have some new SUV stuff that came in, and I bet you money a lot of that was in SUV sales. So the next one up, and I have a little thing here, which I love, is Aston Martin. Aston Martin, 2,901 vehicles, and that was last time. That was July. So that was, their number is going to be off because that's mid-year yesterday. But that number was an increase of 224%. And that came down to, I think a lot of it was, half of it was the SUV sales. So there we go for that. Now, this is all exciting news. Aston Martin, I mean, just getting them kicking off the way they're doing, man, that is exciting news for me. Here's Lotus, Aston, all these vehicles that really just came out of nowhere, and just, they're all seeing these huge increases. Now, I think that if we see this going over and over and over again, that we're going to continue to see the sales going up. We're going to continue to see certain things. There's some changes that are happening in Lamborghini. Obviously, they're going to be getting away with the Aventador and moving into something new. Ferrari has the SF90 and the 296 GTB. So we're going to see all that. I want to make sure that I did it. Yeah, Ferrari had their set 27%. But unfortunately, there had to be a big loser this year, and the big loser was Alfa Romeo. And it kills me to say that, because Alfa is, I think, a great brand. I said when they came in, they should have brought a wagon. It's just something, they needed something to differentiate themselves. And that was the thing, is it kind of, they came in with such a bang. They had the 8C that came out. Then they kind of mothballed the 8C. They did a limited run to see if there was buy-in property. Then they went to the 4C, which was a pretty good product per se, but I just didn't, these smaller vehicles like this, I think it just doesn't catch, and they needed something. They came in with the Giulia, which was a great car. They really ran with some. They did have, I think, some service issues or something like that was going on with the car. There were some things that kind of hit them, and then their resale value. Everybody's going to be critical of their resale value. But I thought that they did good overall. Unfortunately, the buyers didn't see that, and they've seen continuous drops in sales over and over. It's just been kind of upsetting. Like I said from day one, bring in a wagon. You bring in a wagon, you bring in something that differentiates you from anybody else. I know other people have a wagon, but if you kind of settle on that, they had one of the best wagons ever. And the thing is, don't live by the wagon. It's not the car that's going to sell you, but have the 8C. Have the Giulia, have the wagon, have these cars that are just, hey, you can't get this anyplace else. You can get it from us. And I think if they had done that, I think they would have been in a lot better position. But now that this thing has kind of been allowed to fester, it hasn't had an opportunity to, to really just settle in, and it's kind of hurt the company. So their thing was, and I think this is something that maybe it'll help the company, is they've been thinking about lowering their sales. In other words, doing less with what they were doing and doing less production, and, if you will, increasing the cost of the cars. That could end up being a bad move. It could end up being a good move. If you make less cars, then obviously your resale values go up. But if you make less cars and they're more expensive and people aren't willing to buy it, you're going to have less buyers. There's always going to be a seesaw right now. And when you're in the 11th hour of your company, really, they didn't think it would make it to 2022. So, hey, they've made it. That's the good news. So hopefully they take that and run with it, and hopefully they can turn it around this year. Maybe that is the secret, just, throwing it down and being less of a thing. So what is the cost for this thing to be this big move up? And some of the things that we talked about before was the coming off of a pandemic. Everybody's come off this pandemic and they're dying to have a car. The other thing is that the cars that are rare, the cars that are common, are becoming more rare because of the chip sale problem. And then cars that are even more rare, you'd think, well, they're suffering the same kind of problem, but they don't need as many chips, so they don't have as much of a problem. And, there's demand there. One big thing and the reasons for the cause of this has been SUVs. Urus, DBX, anybody that has a SUV, guarantee that they had some kind of Batanga. I think that is really just the stuff for Cullinan for Rolls. I think that was huge. Like I said, half of Aston's sales were up. The sales uptick was DBX, and that is just a killer thing. People want SUVs. It is what it is. Like you performance guys better get on par with buying a SUV. So like I said, the Urus, big seller. And, it didn't even matter what the resale value is. The thing has got 600 some odd horsepower. Like it's a crazy SUV. The next thing that I think this really came into was China began to really start to put money into this too. And that really does. Anytime you get different markets that are building up, your overall sales is going to go up. So you can't go wrong with that. The other thing I think this is the biggest one, is really the panic buying. Like we were saying before, there's big changes that are coming. We're seeing the end of the Aventador, the SF90 for Ferrari. We're seeing all these SUVs come in. They're still gas powered, so here's your opportunity to get involved with that stuff while you still have the ability to hear something. And the Aventador that's leaving it's probably, people have surmised that it will be a hybrid for the next one. But that's the idea of, they're selling this thing about, I'm going to say environment. There's a different word for it. But no, sustainability. I'm sorry, that's the word. But everybody's looking at this sustainability thing, and that's the buzzword of the day. But in reality, a brand wants to sell vehicles, and the buyer wants to buy them while they're still what they are. So we're moving into a point where everything is changing. And anytime you see a point when everything is changing, everybody wants to get involved in it. So I think one of the things right now is that we've come off of 4 or 5 different things while we're moving into something very chaotic, or the waves are rolling in and you're smashing off the beach, and your stuff's sitting on the beach and you got to run out and grab it before the tide comes in and eats it. So that's the thing is it really is, here's the 11th hour of sales, and I think everybody wants to be a part of it. And I think that's true of China. I think that's true of America. There was a time when we were 60% of the sales, and we're just out here going, we have the money, let's get it while we still have the getting good. And some of these cars, I think like the SF90, I think a lot of people are going to buy that car. Some people are going to drive it, but a lot of these cars, they're the end of a generation. They're that kind of flip between, people going to hybrid, and they're going to end up buying these cars. They're going to put them in a garage someplace and let them value. That's just how they do it. So I think we're about the 20-minute mark here for this news thing. And for a live stream coming out of the first one, I really think that was, this is how we wanted to start it, which I'm really excited about. So, before I go, make sure that you go over to our IG page at Executive Automotive Society. We also have the Facebook page, which is Executive Automotive Society. We're going to be adding some new items over there. We already have Silver City Soapworks has made us a custom soap called Goldie Soap that is specific to us. So that's the thing is, if you're looking to buy something like that, we're going to be, we've already listed it once, but I think I want to list it again because it's just one of those brands, you know what I mean? Like you guys don't always get this stuff. So if I put it on like 3 or 4 times, I think people start paying attention to it. But yeah, that's the goal here, is to get us to do more and more when it comes to live stuff, to more and more doing these live streams, more and more getting some people involved in it so we can have group discussions. And this is the thing is, put this in the comments. Let me know about this. Do you want to just talk about the stuff about cars and the sales, or do you want to see more of these? We have the product unveilings, which you normally do on Friday. I have the product right now. I just haven't unboxed it yet and done the filming for it. But I don't want to open it to just that. I want to talk about the cigars. I want to talk about the wine. I want to talk about the clothing. We have somebody right now who designs clothes, and I want to make sure that they can come in and have their discussion and say, you know what, you just bought that new Bentley you didn't think you could afford before. You've gotten into this new thing, and you got to look the part. So, and that's the thing is certain logic of this has never changed. The idea of looking and living this new lifestyle is big. So if these things are selling and people are jumping into them and you're finally getting an opportunity to step up, here's your opportunity. Why not? Let's get all of it. Let's do all that stuff. Just get it out there and have you guys say it and see what's the best. Let's all learn together. That's the whole point of this. So, and I've had an incredible learning experience. I mean, think about where we've come, the first one holding an iPhone in front of my car, to where we are today, being this new brand and having a direction here, and getting ready to get to a year of rallying, car shows, drives, places to go, and not just being the one trick pony of cars. Really just saying, hey, this is the whole thing. We got everything. We got drinks, cigars, coffee. We're going to get it all. So like I said, what are you looking for? What do you want from this channel? Put it in the comments below. I'm looking forward to hearing everybody's input. And if that means we change things around a little bit, then it does. And that's the way it is. I'll be happy to do it. So thank you guys who have tuned in. We actually had a pretty good crowd today tuning in for this. So I'm happy to see you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. We're going to hopefully live stream. If we don't do Friday, we're going to do whatever. I just want to kind of get it out there and just start doing it more and more. So make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon. Make sure you're aware when new stuff comes up that you don't miss it here on the Executive Automotive Society. And always, folks, you know what to do. Don't forget to drive.